Steelers dropped the opening game of the series last night against the Houston Astros. That's no good with 2 weeks left to play in the regular season as the Angels dropped a game in the standings in the wild card. Half game in the West. Tonight it is game number 2. The Angels now 4.5 back of the Texas Rangers. They will be at the Coliseum in Oakland to start a 3-game set tonight. The Angels now 3.5 back of the Astros, and just ahead of them now by half game, it's the Minnesota Twins. We welcome you inside Minute Maid and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And last night, of course, it was Jared Weaver taking the mound. The home run ball certainly plagued him. One guy that has a home run ball plagued him all season long is Hector Santiago. He's on the mound today, coming off a very bad outing against the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, Victor, we need him to turn it around, get back to where he was in the first half of the season. Take a look at our AT HOU versus Rewind. When Hector is good, he has excellent command of his fastball. The pace is solid for him, the shoulders are squared up, and he consistently hits his spot. Whatever the target is going to be, tonight's going to be Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Setting that target up in, setting that target up away. Use that changeup, use his curveball. When he does that, very good. When he's not so good, it's missing location, whether it's his fastball or even his breakable. Knowing the hitters are looking in the zone, you have to avoid those counts, avoid those situations where you have the catcher reaching back, not hitting the spot. And that's the thing for Hector. Stay back, stay under control, hit your spots consistently. If he does that, he should be okay tonight.
Well, the focus, of course, is on Hector Santiago. When you talk about his overall numbers, you see 2/3 of an inning, 5 earned runs on Thursday. The Angels' offense needs to get back on track. They were stymied by Tyler Duffy yesterday. Dallas Keuchel last night as Dallas picked up his 18th win. We're going to step away for a moment. When we return to Minute Maid Ballpark, we'll talk a little bit about the defense that we saw last night in game number 1. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Get the new steak and egg breakfast burrito at Jack in the Box. It's not your basic breakfast burrito. By Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Astros, the Angels trying to even up this series at a game apiece. Defense last night, Gooby, was on par.
Yeah, especially in this ballpark. Never an easy thing to do. And take a look at our tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Shane Victorino, a former Gold Glove winner, made some outstanding plays in left field last night. Altuve thought he might have a double, potentially a triple, runs that one down. Then Correa off the wall. The birthday boy today, well, not a birthday present last night, as he makes a perfect throw into second base as Featherston applies the tag. And then the best play of the night, Cole Calhoun, with Altuve in second, charges this baseball exceptionally well, get himself in great throwing position. A perfect throw and tag by Carlos Perez, 10th outfield assist this season for Cole Calhoun. A perfect throw to the plate. Maybe some defense tonight.
Now hoping for some offense as well against Lance McCullers. We're just about ready for baseball here in Houston. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Still arriving here. Light crowd last night. Seems like a little bit of a light crowd as well. That won't be the case over the weekend when the Lone Star Series continues. Texas Rangers will be in town for a 3-game set beginning on Friday. Mentioned Texas tonight is in Oakland to start a 3-game series against the Athletics. And the Angels really with their backs to the wall now. They basically have to win these 2 games here to kind of make some noise in the wild card as well as the West, and kind of keep your fingers crossed going into that last homestand over the weekend for the Angels. 3 against Seattle, 3 against Oakland, and of course wrapping up. You want those last 4 games of the season to mean something and give yourself an opportunity when they visit Arlington.
Yeah, we've said this a number of times of late. A huge game. Well, this is the biggest game of the season for the Angels to be able to try to pull off, and then you can win the series, but you have to win the game here tonight.
Well, the Astros have taken the field. We'll take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup, and pretty much a very similar lineup to what we've seen over the last week or thereabouts. The only difference in this one is that Chris Iannetta is behind the plate. So it's Ibar, Calhoun, and Trout, Pujols, Murphy, Crone, Freese, Iannetta, and Featherston. And Mike has stayed with this lineup but now for about a week or thereabouts. It's kind of worked. Sometimes Murphy's batted in that leadoff spot against a right-handed batter, but Scioscia's going to opt to go with Ibar tonight instead and have Murphy
protect Pujols in the lineup. Lance McCullers, the 21-year-old rookie, has thrown the ball well this year. You look at his record at 5-6, that's okay, but the 3.18 ERA for guys getting a taste of big league life for the first time.
Yeah, 4-0 at home with a 1.61 ERA for McCullers. My go-tos to be successful against him is work counts, 1-0 count, 2-0 counts. Hitters very good swings against him and score early. That first time through the lineup, hitters are hitting 285 with 2 home runs and 19 RBI. Goes down considerably to second and third time through the lineup against the youngster.
Check out the defense tonight for McCullers and the Astros. Gonzalez, Marisnik, and Springer from left to right. Lowry, Correa, Altuve, and Carter from third to first, and Castro behind the plate.
And the birthday boy, Carlos Correa, at shortstop, just turned 21 today. 9 errors this season, only 1 in the month of September. Has turned 37 double plays.
Ellis, of course, last night dropping the opening game of the series by the final of 6-3. They made some noise with 2 outs in the 9th off Josh Fields, but Luke Gregerson was able to close it down. He picked up his 28th save. Jared Weaver ended up taking the loss. He is 7-12 on the season. Ibar last night with a couple of hits, 2 for 5, 2 singles, 1 run scored. Takes a strike, opening pitch of the ball game. 271 hitter. Couple of home runs, 38 runs batted in. One on the third base side. That's a beauty. Infield base hit for Eric Ibar. And I would be surprised to see more of that, especially with Carter at first base. Lowry's not the quickest guy over at third base either.
Yeah, Carter with 8 errors at first base. That is an absolutely perfect bunt from Eric Ibar. You can't even roll a baseball down better than what he did on this bunt. Right down the line, and the count to allow you to do that, especially 0-1, thinking as a third baseman you're going to play back a little bit more so. Perfect bunt for Eric.
Cole Calhoun batting .259 now after going 1 for 4 yesterday. He will look at a strike. Total 23 home runs and 77 runs batted in. Calhoun backs out. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. That's McCullers making his 4th start of the year against the Angels. He's had a brief amount of time in the big leagues. 2 no decisions, 1 win. Last start was on the 12th at the Big A. In 5 innings, gave him 2 runs on 7 hits.
Extremely competitive on the mound. Throws a little bit more curveballs to left-handed batters than he does right-handed batters. More changeups the other way around.
Those 3 starts, he's allowed a total of 4 runs against the Angels. This is his 2nd start here. The other here at Minute Maid was on July 29th. He picked up the win in that one. 7 innings at 5 strikeouts, no walks. Eric Ibar, bunt base hit to lead off this ball game. He's over at first. It's that sharp breaking ball. Still at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's the one pitch you want to try to avoid eating those counts, where he'll throw his curveball, a very good one.
Colors has worked 107 2/3 innings at the major league level. 92 hits allowed. 107 strikeouts. He will pick up some punch outs.
You got to believe the nerves are there for a youngster in these type of environments, but it certainly helped out those nerves getting a win last night.
Lays off the breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Conroy calling the balls and strikes tonight. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, at first. Sam Holbrook at second. And Angel Hernandez over at third. Angels offense last night managed a total of 9 hits, with 3 came in the 9th inning. Really didn't do a whole lot of anything last night. 1 run in the 6th inning, then 2 the top of the ninth. Good lead for Ibar. Cole fouls this one off.
You see that light from the fastball from the colors. Anywhere between 92 to 97. Four-seam fastball can run it up there to 97 range. Two-seamer down around 92 to 94.
First round pick in 2012 at a Jesuit high school in Tampa. Just a number of high draft picks the Astros have had to make an impact this year for them.
Shook off a fastball in, fastball away. So he wants to go something off speed.
Really playing Calhoun the opposite way. As a matter of fact, Gonzalez really toward the line in left field. This one's out toward left. Gonzalez has to move back on it. It's turned around, makes the catch. One down.
Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. Little Beastie Boys, you got to fight for the right to party. You want to get a chance to get to that big dance in October. This is the game tonight. You have to fight your way for a victory. Score early too. That's a good swing by Cole. Gonzalez could play a number of positions defensively well for the Astros. That's a pretty tough play.
One out, one on. Here's Trout. 293 with 39 home runs, 85 runs batted in. 2 for 4 yesterday, couple of singles. He drives one out to deep left center field. That ball's hit pretty well. Marisnik giving chase at the wall, and that is high off the fence. That's a home run according to Angel Hernandez. The runners keep on running, but Angel Hernandez signaling home run. The throw comes to the plate. It doesn't matter. It's the 40th home run for Mike Trout. A.J. Hinch will have a look at it, I'm sure.
That ball was crushed.
Yes, it was.
Wow, what a shot by Trout.
2-0 Angels.
Talked about getting those runs early for Hector, and McCullers struggled the first time through the lineup. Fastball right down the heart of the plate.
Castro was waiting to see if A.J. Hinch is going to look at it. But looks like they're not going to argue it.
And they generally look at everything, the Astros.
And it was one of those situations with a man on. The third base umpire is the one that goes out toward the outfield to make that call. Trout's not looking at him. He just keeps running because he sees the ball ricochet.
That's a great angle for the third base umpire to see. Also, it's not an easy field to judge home runs.
So 2-0 Halos. 87 runs batted in now for Trout.
See how far this baseball went. What a shot by Trout.
If they hit the edge of that sign, because a lot of times those are metal signs out there. You hear them, especially during batting practice when guys are hitting those signs. And that is hammered out to deep left. Gone. Big fly for Albert Pujols. 3-0 Angels. Albert with his 36th.
Now you talk about a laser beam. Wow, what a shot by Albert. 36th. It's good to see him back on the board, a familiar place where he hits a lot of home runs. Boy, so far in this game for the rookie going against the Angels here. Infield bunt, line drive out, home run, and then a missile by Pujols. There's your sound.
There it is. That ball got out in a hurry. David Murphy at 289 average. Breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. First time that McCullers has allowed 2 home runs in a game. Just going back to back. We said that the offense needed to do something. Last 2 nights or 2 games have been very quiet. Not quiet here in the first.
And aggressive swinging.
Murphy goes down on the off-speed pitch, 2 outs. So 2 outs, nobody on, and C.J. Cron up.
That home run, Albert passes. Now Manny Ramirez now 14th by himself on the all-time home run list.
Cron fouls the first one back.
An important milestone home run, getting that baseball back for Albert.
Albert hadn't homered since September the 2nd at Oakland. Just his second home run since August 26th.
Didn't quite get the height that that home run he hit against Brad Lidge in the playoffs here. But if that got a little more height, that still might be going itself.
And the one against Lidge was out toward left center field. 1-1 pitch. Cron skies one out of right field line. Carter going out. Springer racing in, and this one into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Called strike 3. Cron is the 3rd out here in the 1st, but the Angels make some noise. 2-run shot by Trout. Solo shot by Pujols. Went to the bottom of the 1st with the Angels leading it 3-0. Of the season. Just the 2nd player in Angels history to hit 40 home runs. Troy Glaus did it twice. Here's a look at A.J. Hinch's lineup for the Houston Astros. Altuve, Springer, Correa in the top 3rd of the order. Lowry, Gaddis, and Marwin Gonzalez tonight getting the start at left. Chris Carter at first. Castro behind the plate for Riznick in center once again, batting 9. Take out Hector Santiago making his 30th start of the season. 8-9. And now a 3.47 ERA.
So important for him to establish that fastball and stay ahead of the count. 149 bunch-outs in 166 innings. My go-tos for Hector to be successful, keep the ball in the ballpark. In his 8 wins, only 3 home runs allowed. In his 9 losses, 11. Also allowed 11 home runs and no decisions. The Astros, really the way they score runs, predicated around the long ball. Hit your spots and stay downstairs and change speeds.
It's been a Jekyll and Hyde season for Hector Santiago. All-star, terrific first half. The second half, not so much. 2-5 record and a 5.62 ERA since the All-Star break. That's over 12 starts. Coming off the 2/3 of an inning against Minnesota. 0-1 to Altuve. He's off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose hitting .314, 12 home runs, 59 RBIs. 3-hit game last night, falling a home run shy of the cycle. now with 185 hits on the season. That leads the American League. And this one's skied toward right center field. Not very deep. Trout coming in, as is Calhoun, and it's Trout making the call on the catch. One down. There's a look at the Angels defensively. Murphy at left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun in right. The infield with David Freese and Eric Iber on the left, Taylor Featherston and C.J. Cron on the right with Chris Iannetta behind the plate.
C.J. Cron, I think, has done a very good job of late playing first base. He started 18 of the 20 games this month. His no errors really turned his season around defensive. He's turned 26 double plays in that first base position.
This one skied toward right. Playable for Calhoun as he drifts back on it. Those are some of the things that Hector did a lot of in the first half. It seems like he got some help with first pitch outs, and that's something that hadn't been an issue for him. Had been an issue, I should say, coming into this season. But the second half, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, where he can get through innings very quickly and keep that pitch count manageable to work deep in the games.
Yeah, the most important thing is establishing early on you're throwing strikes. You will get some swings early, especially against those two at the top of the order with Altuve and Springer. They're a little over 40% each one of them as far as swinging at the first pitch. You got to attack the zone, allow them to get themselves out. Getting back to that first play with that pop-up where you saw Trout, Featherston, and Calhoun, they were all converging quickly. You could sense the urgency, not only at the plate, but in the field when they went after that baseball.
Two fly ball outs, 2 outs here in the first. Trying a 2-run home run in the first inning. Pujols follow with a solo shot, a laser beam to left. That's a called strike 3. A beautiful pitch on the inside corner and a quick 1-2-3 shutdown inning. We head to the second. Halos up 3-0. It's Lance McCullers who gave up 2 home runs. And Hector Santiago went back out there and faced 3 batters. 2 fly ball outs and a strikeout of Carlos Correa on the inside part of the plate. Good to see Hector go out there and have a quick inning.
Threw a lot of strikes too. 6 strikes to 7 pitches.
Freed's hitting .256, 11 home runs, 48 runs batted in. Freeze fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. David went 1 for 4 last night. Doubled in the 9th inning and scored a run.
Very important for the offense to continue to keep scoring against the Astros. In this ballpark, no lead is comfortable.
McCullers ended up settling down and striking out Murphy and Crone to finish off the first inning. Missed badly on the 2 pitches to Trout and Pujols. 2-2. Breaking ball, rolled foul. Castro set up outside. It's fouled back. And again,
Mislocation.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing, when you're a pitcher, you try to throw that 2-seam fastball to start off the outside corner to bring it to the corner. That becomes a very dangerous mistake pitch. See how much that ball ran, but because he's setting up outside, that runs right to the power zone, especially to a right-handed batter. He did the exact same thing to Trout and Pujols, and that one to Freeze.
There's Conroy, pardon me, having to deal with his mask. Took that foul ball off the mask. Watch out. And that hit Freeze right in the helmet. It looked like a breaking ball. Kind of slipped out of the hand of McCullers. David will jog it down, but Adam Neville, the trainer, and Mike Scioscia following him down the line.
Yeah, you have to go through that whole protocol as far as making sure there's no concussion type issue on this breaking ball. Turns into it. He was expecting something away. Looked like he got him right on the ear with the helmet.
Not only turned into it, turned downward into. I mean, just he followed the break of the baseball and thought he was getting out of the way of it. Just unfortunate.
He was especially with the breaking ball, you anticipated starting to work its way towards the plate, and it never did. Youngster with some nerves going early in this game. Great stuff for McCullers, but missing location.
So David's on board for Chris Iannetta. Breaking pitch a little bit high. Iannetta hitting 186, 10 home runs, 33 RBIs. Had the night off last night. He caught game 2 Saturday night. Homered in Napa. Cuts through that one. It's also hit by a pitch. The home run is 10th. He's 9 doubles on the year.
Again, that fastball ran back in. And Castro setting up away.
Getting around the breaking ball a little bit as well. He's a little rattled for the first time. The Angels coming out swinging the bats well. He's got good numbers against the Halos, and also some sound off the bat by Trout and Pujols.
He's given up 4 earned runs in 18 innings pitched. That's over 3 starts. He's given up 3 in 1 inning right now.
Breaking ball, better. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And put in perspective with how well he's thrown at home. 4-0 with a 1.61 ERA in this ballpark. A hitter's yard.
Yeah. As a staff, they've pitched better at home than they have on the road. That's why you've got 51 wins in this ballpark. But we've talked about it a number of times, to left and to right. One of those short porches, especially in left field. But you've had pitchers that have been able to execute and pitch the bigger part of the yard here. 51-25 and a 3.10 ERA.
When you think about it, you combine his numbers and Dallas Keuchel now 14-0. That's 18-0 at home with an ERA a little over 1.5 between the two.
And McHugh with 11 wins here at Minute Maid. This one fouled off. Still at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, when you go out to those Crawford boxes and you look in, you look like you can almost reach out and touch home plate from there. It is not far out to left field. And put up those type of numbers is amazing.
Freys hit by a pitch, stands at first base. Full count. Last start for McCullers was against the Rangers on the 17th. Ended up taking the loss, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits, worked 6 innings in that one.
Won't be surprised to see Freys going here.
Big hole on the right side of the infield. Playing the shift. If it doesn't go, that's cued right back to the mound. Colors, high throw. Altuve gets rid of it. 1 hop throw to Iannetta. It's a double play. So McCullers goes to the off-speed pitch, and Iannetta cues it right back. 2 outs. Featherston coming up.
It's the 10th ground ball double play turned for McCullers. And it's some odd action on it, too. The high throw, and Altuve able to step back on the base and 1 hop throw to Carter to get 1-run 4-3 double play.
Featherston looks at a fastball low. Taylor went 0 for 2 last night. 163, couple of home runs and 9 RBIs. Drives one out towards center. Marisnik is right there, positioned perfectly. And just like that, the second is in the books. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. The Angels up 3-0. Hector Santiago coming off a 1-2-3 first will face Lowry, Gaddis, and Gonzalez here in the second inning. David Freys has a very red ear and right around that area where he got hit. All right, staying in the game. Tough dude.
Yeah, no question.
He's missed enough time. He doesn't want to miss any more time, especially in crucial games.
It's always been related to being hit by a pitch, whether on the hand and now this time on the helmet.
You're right. Ted Lowry, switch hitting third baseman. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Early on, some pretty good life on the fastball for Hector.
.241 average for Lowry, 9 home runs, 30 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game yesterday. Takes that pitch inside. 2-2 now. Just a little bit low. Full count. Gaddis on deck. He's the DH once again. Not toward right. Not very deep. 1 out. Hey fans, join us Friday for Oktoberfest. Halo's taking on the Mariners at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a boot mug courtesy of Shock Top while supplies last. Get your tickets at the stadium box office or online.
Not that far away now.
No. Gaddis DHing. .243 average. Hit his 26th home run last night. It was in the second inning. With the foul pole in left. With 85 runs batted in.
Dangerous spot though, just missed downstairs with his changeup.
This one out towards center. Trout racing back now, and we'll track it down as he steps out of the warning track. 2 outs.
Pretty good indication how strong Gaddis is on a fastball inside. That pitch was off the plate in and still hit that ball close to 400 feet to center field.
Two outs, nobody on. It's Marwin Gonzalez at the plate. Gonzalez, a switch hitter himself, getting to start tonight at left field. .277 average, 10 home runs, 32 runs batted in. And he skies one out to deep left field, and the Astros get one of those runs back. A 2-out blast by Gonzalez, his 11th of the year. It's 3-1 Angels.
He was able to jump on that fastball, didn't get it inside enough, down in the strike zone. 11th home run of the season for Gonzalez. When you look at this lineup for the Astros tonight against Hector, there's just 2 guys in this lineup with a whole lot of success. One of them not being Gonzalez. He's thrown the ball well against him, but not on that location of the fastball. Carter and Castro, the only 2 with success against Hector coming into the game. The other 7 in this lineup, 9 for 65 coming into the game. That's a 138 batting average.
Carter cues one up the first base line, and it stays foul. 0-1. on the corner. 0-2. Carter hitting 186, 19 home runs, 55 runs batted in. Starting first baseman tonight. For Houston, that's their 208th home run of the season. Plays off. 1-2. They're second to the Toronto Blue Jays. Halos now with 160. Came into play tonight, 6th in the American League. Home run category. 1-2. And it takes low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carter flips this one out toward right field. That ball's got some carry too. That's going to get out of here. The Astros go back to back, and it's 3-2 Angels.
That changeup was a little bit elevated. He just flicked that ball out to right center field. That's how strong Carter is. Mentioned the 2 guys in this Astro lineup with success. Carter being one of them. Now 5 for 13 with 2 home runs against Hector. That's an elevated changeup. If it's down, hits that ball on the ground.
So the thing that has haunted Santiago in the second half, 2 out mistakes, has haunted him here in the second. Back-to-back home runs with 2 fly ball outs being recorded. That was a mistake pitch there to Castro. Fastball up, called strike. Castro, the catcher, hitting .216 with 11 home runs and 30 runs batted in. 0 for 4 last night.
And the one thing that's dangerous for Hector in this ballpark, he's a fly ball pitcher. He's already got 4 fly ball outs. You can see how the baseball carries so well here.
The 13th home run that he's allowed since the All-Star break. Allowed 13 before the All-Star break. That was an 18-game, 17 starts. This is his 13th post-break. 4 misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hector retires the first 5, and Gonzalez gets one to left. Carter to right center field. Shows you how strong Chris Carter is.
He didn't even take a full swing at that. I didn't see that. That's a pretty good pitch there.
That pitch is a strike.
A lot of the strike zone.
Full count. Now a walk. Mike Butcher will come out and pay a visit. See Hector shaking his head. That's the last thing you want to see on the pitcher's body language.
No, you want to pretend, or at least have your opponent think that, okay, I made a mistake or two, but I'm fine. You don't want to make him think that you're struggling right now with command. That gives him a better opportunity to think they're going to get a pitch to drive.
Ninth place hitter Jake Marisnick coming up now. Marisnick, center fielder, hitting .241. 9 home runs, 33 runs batted in. 0 for 2 last night with a walk. 2-0.
And that's that not following through, straight up recoiling after he delivers the baseball. Now 25 pitches thrown in this inning. Only threw 7 in the first inning. 6 of them strikes.
3-0.
Looks like there's some movement around down in the bullpen already.
There has to be.
Yes.
It's must wins now. Back-to-back walks now.
Now you have to deal with Altuve.
Clearly Hector mentally shook it up. I think really by the drive that Gaddis had that was tracked down by Trout. Haven't got it good, but he pitched to the big part of the ballpark. To me, as a pitcher, you're sitting there going, that's a win.
It's
all right.
An out.
It's an out.
Yes. I mean, you always would love to make a perfect pitch every time, but your objective on the mound is to get it out. Doesn't matter how you get it. Could be a strikeout, could be a line out, could be a fly out to the deep part of the ballpark. Doesn't matter. Get it out. Now you put yourself in a position right now to face a very difficult hitter, especially what he's done against the Angels the last 22 games, over 400.
Cutting across his body. It's a timid delivery for fear of throwing something in the strike zone. And Osal's now getting ready. 2 on, 2 outs. But the first 2 batters has not retired a man since. 1-0. Check swing, 1 around. Till Barrett brings it up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Again, when you talk about cutting across your body, when you deliver the baseball, Hector right there, instead of that arm going across the front over the front leg, he's bringing it across his body. That creates that cutting action well off the inside corner.
That is lined toward left center field. Trout's there. So Santiago and the Angels get out of it. Astros get on the board. We'll head to the 3rd. 3-2 Angels. Upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the order for the Angels here in the 3rd inning. Halos up by the score of 3-2. Mike Butcher and Hector Santiago talking things over here.
Hey, you still have the lead.
Yeah.
That's what you got to think of when you're on the mound. I got through that inning. I made some mistakes, but we're still leading.
Ibarm, Calhoun, and Trout here in the third. Eric had a bunt base hit his first time up. It's a breaking ball for a strike.
Be surprised if he drags one down the first baseline at one point or so in this game. 90 infield hits since 09.
0-2. Lowry will drop back now at third. Breaking pitch, slow roll. Altuve over to Carter. One down.
One thing you don't want to have happen is let McCullers get on a roll there. He's rattled in that first inning. Mentioned the batting average first time through against him, 285. Second time, 211. Third time against him, 170.
Cole hit a fly ball to left field in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Tough month of September for Cole. Fouls this one. It's 0-2. Average-wise, had a tougher month in August, but as far as the strikeouts, on-base percentage, slugging, had a down month of September.
Even though he made it out that first at bat, he hit the ball extremely well to left field. He's got to still stay with that approach, especially being behind in the count.
Upstairs. Off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 4 home runs already hit this game through 2 innings.
Amazing thing is McCullers has only allowed 6 the entire year. He's given up 2 so far in this game.
That is ripped to Carter. He waited on that off-speed pitch. It was up right to Chris Carter. 2 outs. Trout coming up. This is what he did back in the first.
Aggressive on the first pitch. Got a fastball. Crushed that one out. 40th home run. Now 87 RBI for Trout. The all-time list as far as home runs in a season for the Angels, now only trailing Troy Glaus, who hit 47 in 2000, 41 in 2001.
One of 11 now American leaguers with 40 home runs in a season before their age 24 campaign.
That's 6 home runs in his last 10 games. Trout.
1-0. Breaking ball caught the inside corner. And evens the count. Fastball a little bit high. That two-seamer that runs in off the glove of Castro.
50 pitches now thrown for McCullers. This game now with 2 outs into the third inning. 33 of them in strikes. 17 of them out of the strike zone.
Pujols on deck. Albert homering in the first, 36th of the year. 3-1 down. Challenger with a fastball up. Not sure how fully committed Mike was to that swing. That's that borderline pitch for him. Last year, he was all over trying to hack. They exploited him last year, man.
Imagine try to go back upstairs again.
They do, and he went around. Handles are done here in the third as they go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. 3-2 Angels. With Angels Live kicking things off at 10:30 Pacific time. Then it's back home after an off day on Thursday, the last off day of the regular season. Seattle in town for a weekend series. Oakland in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And a week from tomorrow, I think it's a 4 o'clock start. Yeah, 4 o'clock back home. And then the Angels will head to Texas to wrap up the regular season with a 4-game series beginning a week from Thursday. Two, 3, and 4 for Houston here in the third inning as Hector got out of the second, allowing the 2 home runs by Gonzalez and Carter, 2 walks, and then a fly ball to center by Altuve. Springer takes a strike to even the count. Astros right fielder hit a fly ball to right in the first. He's 0 for 1. Breaking pitch, popped him up. Pretty good slider, too. One down. Hey, folks, Sunday's Fan Appreciation Day. Join us, and the Angels finish up that series against Seattle. It's a 12:35 start. All fans attendance, chance to win great prizes from Pechanga Resort, Casino, Welk Resorts, and Stanley. Get your ticket to the stadium box office or online. One out.
Yeah, you're right about that slider. A little bit late break to it. To stay under control is so important for Hector.
Correa went down looking in the first inning. Yellow strikeout. Santiago is picked up. 0 for 1. 21 years of age. Today's family is here. They were downfield during batting practice. Asked Mike Trout to sign some autographs for his family. Mike went over and obliged.
Same birthday as Tommy Lasorda. Turned 88 today. Vince Coleman, 54.
Watch out for the turf, Vince. Too soon?
No.
3-1.
Had many conversations with Vince because we became teammates in Kansas City. I said, we would have got you anyhow, even if you were playing. He goes, yeah, right.
Correa takes inside for ball 4. Third walk issued by Hector. Puts a man on for Jed Lowry. This Cardinals team has some serious field. Willie McGee and Vince Coleman.
Tommy Hurt second. What do you had 10 home runs that year with about 100 some RBI with just 10 home runs? So the speed they had. Top of that order.
That AstroTurf. And the old baby blues.
Oh, yeah.
Got to bring back the baby blues for the road units. Lowry, a fly ball to right field his first time up. This one out to right center. It's playable for Trout. 2 down. Correa back to first.
Portnero and Trout even getting around that baseball, because you never know with the Astros. They're very aggressive. As Correa's going back to first. If you're a center fielder just drifting back, full tag can go into scoring position. But Trout got around that to be in good throwing position to prevent that from happening.
Evan Gattis lined one out to Trout at center. He's 0 for 1. Two balls, no strikes. Correa working the 1-out walk stance at first base. Angels with 3 runs in the first. Trout a 2-run home run. Pulls a solo shot. That one's nowhere near the zone. 3-0.
Be real careful. Don't groove a fastball here. The Gattis, he's going to be swinging for sure. 3-0.
Single down the right field line. Correa on his way to third. Gattis is trying to go to second. He will get there with a double. Correa slams on the brakes at third base. So it's a double for Gattis on a 3-0 pitch. That's his 19th double. And the Astros have runners at second and third with 2 outs. You surprised Cole didn't go to second?
Either he didn't have the grip on the baseball. It looked like he might have had a shot at him. Did a nice job of getting to the baseball. Got around the baseball well, and he's almost looking at home. But Gattis was only about halfway to second base, and with Cole's arm, you see right there, he's got the baseball. He's just getting to the base. He's got a shot at him, especially with the arm strength that was on display last night.
There's Marwin Gonzalez. Santiago from the full windup. Marwin swinging first pitch, rolls one over to short. High ball, throws him out, inning over. 3 complete here in Houston. 3-2 Angels. lead things off back in the first inning after Trout homered. Albert did this. A laser beam of a home run. Mike Trout had a pretty good reaction.
We did too on that swing.
Yeah.
That was crushed.
Home run number 36, RBI number 87 for Albert. And he lines this one to left. First pitch swinging again. Gonzalez right there. Lance McCullers kind of staring at Albert as he was running down the line. One out.
I mean, this baseball is another rocket off him. Fastball, pretty much the middle of the plate, kind of ran back in the middle. Send up away. Castros, almost the exact same spot. He just didn't get quite the height on it.
McCullers looking at Albert like, what are you doing swinging first pitch? Murphy takes down. David struck out in the first. One of 3 strikeouts for McCullers. One ball, 1 strike.
And that's why you play a little more shallow in left field here in this ballpark, because if you hit it at all in the air, it's going to get out. Take away that line drive single. If you're playing deep, that's going to be in front.
Sinking fastball down and away. 2 balls and a strike. They overshift. 3 infielders on the right side on the Houston native. Breaking ball. 2-2. Of course went to Baylor. Completing his high school here in Houston. Ground ball over toward the shortstop area. That's Lowry, the third baseman. Throws him out. 2 outs.
More of a comfortable position for Lowry on that ground ball.
First baseman.
Braun struck out looking in the first inning. And really, aside from the hit by pitch, it's David Freese. McCullers hasn't allowed a base runner since that home run to Albert.
And he wastes absolutely no time in between pitches.
And he's faced the minimum, courtesy of a double play ball that Iannetta hit into.
Starting to get a better feel for his breaking ball also.
Yeah, that's a pretty good slider. Getting around those pitches early on. Crone chases a fastball off the plate. And he goes down for the second time tonight. Over the bottom of the 4th, Angels still leading.
miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T U-verse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Infinity, luxury cars that delivered inspired performance.
The Angels on top 3-2 here at Minute Maid Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Halos dropped the opener last night 6-3. Jumped ahead to a 3-0 lead in the first. A couple of home runs for Houston in the second. It's a 1-run lead. Chris Carter leading things off. He homered on a 2-2 changeup into the bullpen in right center field. Carter's 20th of the year, 56th RBI. Bottom third of the order for Houston. Carter, Castro, and Marisnick. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Santiago with 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 3 hits allowed.
Carter with that home run tonight, 16 career home runs against the Angels.
This one's out toward left field. Moving back on it is Murphy. Got underneath it. The ball stays in the yard for out number 1. Hector and Chris Arnett are going to talk things over here. And really, it's incumbent on Chris to remind Hector, you've got to keep those pitches down the zone. That pitch was up.
Setting up away. Look how much he misses this location by. Fortunate enough, it stayed in the yard. Just got underneath it. No, I guarantee you never want to go back to that same spot if you're Hector against Carter later in the game.
Jason Castro walked in the second. Missing just off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's an overthrown fastball. Wasn't fully committed to try to sneak that fastball in.
Two now. Breaking pitch got him. Down goes Castro, 2 outs.
Well thrown, under control slider for Hector. Nice job adjusting from pitch to pitch. Stayed on top. Good sharp break to that slider away.
There's Jake Marisnick. Swings through the first one. Marisnick also walked the sack. Now he's on 4 pitches. On the corner. Good location. Down and in. Halos in the 5th. Have Freeze, Arnett, and Featherston coming up. One base run allowed by McCullers in the last 3 innings. Marisnick goes down. He foul tips that one into the glove. Back-to-back strikeouts for Santiago. The Angels remain on top 3-2. for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October the 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Boy, if it's anything like the races to get into the postseason here in the American League, that should be a great run.
Halos 3.5 back in the wild card. New York has wild card 1, Houston wild card 2. Houston a game back of the Texas Rangers in the West.
Minnesota winning today against Cleveland. Minnesota's leading Cleveland right now.
Cleveland kind of still in the mix there, needing some help. The Texas about to open up a series against Oakland tonight at the Coliseum. Game will go off at 7:05 Pacific time. David Freese hit by a pitch in the second. There's a strike. Leave the count. Ground ball left side. Chip Lowry has it. One out. That's 9 straight retired by McCullers since hitting freeze. 3 hits that he gave up. Well, in the first inning, a bunt base hit by Eric Ibar to lead off the game. 2 home runs to drown the pools.
So far going a very similar pattern to what he's done the entire season. First time through the lineup, hitters with success against him. Second time, not so much. There's 211 batting average second time through.
All right, then a double play ball. Second inning, so he's 0 for 1. One ball, 2 strikes.
Now not missing out over the plate with that fastball. He went 4-seam and stayed true right to the outside corner.
Wanted to peel. He went around. Ted Barrett brings him up. 2 outs. Strikeout number 5 now for the Cubs. And a Ringer Featherston. Taylor a fly ball to center field. His first at bat in the second inning.
Well, at some point you would love to see Taylor Featherston start thinking in terms of push bunts, drag bunts, utilizing his speed.
Especially batting in the 9th spot in the order. Job in that spot is to just turn the lineup over. One ball, 2 strikes. 72 pitches now for McCullers. 48 of it strikes, which are the 5 punch outs. No walks. And 3 hits allowed. That'll be 3-mile-per-hour fastball running up and in.
Ran that one way up and in, dropping the elbow. Just trying to looking out over the plate. Did that right as far as turning the shoulder and the head the other way.
It's a foul ball that gets Castro.
Breaking ball once again, backed up.
Right on the thumb. Never fun.
Especially when you deal throughout the entire season how many times you hit there.
Hit sharply towards short. Correa picks it up. Fires over to first, and they got him. Halos go down to order again. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Top of the order coming up for Houston. The Angels leading at 3-2. To retransmit it in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Bottom of the fifth inning, the Astros have Altuve, Springer, and Correa coming up. They face Hector Santiago at a 1-2-3 fourth, including back-to-back strikeouts, 3 punch-outs, 3 walks, 3 hits allowed for Hector. Altuve twice has hit a fly ball to Trout at center. Swinging first pitch, drives one out to the alley in right center field. That'll go for extras. Altuve rounding second. He will slam on the brakes right there. Leadoff double for Jose Altuve. That's his 34th.
When you think about the counts of what the batting average is, and that's an elevated fastball from Hector. My first pitch. Altuve hitting over 400. That's 409 coming into the game today. You got to know that. Use that against him. Throw pitches a little bit off the plate. Keep it down.
Keeping the pitches down has been an issue for Santiago in this game. Here's Springer. Fly ball to right. Pop up to Crone. Upstairs. Three-0. 67 pitches for Hector, 34 balls, 33 strikes. Nowhere near the zone. There's ball 4. Fourth walk issued by Santiago, and so she better get somebody loose in the pen. First two have reached here to start the fifth.
It's one of those times, sometimes as a manager, you're thinking about running out there yourself to have a conversation with your starting pitcher. Reminding me how important this game is for the team.
Salas was up and loosening in the second inning. Hector got out of it, getting out 2. They hit the fly ball to center. Here comes Mike Butcher. The slow walk by the rest of the infield with Correa coming up. This will give whomever's getting loose in the pen a chance to get loose, and it is Salas once again. Also to discuss the situation here if Correa does indeed turn around to bunt. I would imagine that he would.
You never know with the Astros, though. But I also think there's a time where, especially when you're struggling on the mound, this might not be a bad time to put a pickoff at second base. There's a lot of speed on the bases between Altuve and Springer. Combined 52 stolen bases between the two.
Leadoff double and a 4-pitch walk. With 2 men on with nobody out here the fifth. Angels clinging to a 1-run lead. Correa takes low. Borderline pitch goes against Hector. Pickoff attempt, no throw. Correa last night falling a triple shot of the cycle. Going 3 for 4. Now with 19 home runs with that home run hit last night. Rookie record for the Astros. 21. Lance Berkman did it back in 2000.
Has rolled into 9 double plays, although Hector doesn't get a lot of ground ball double plays. Just 3 this season.
Popped him up to shallow right field. Calhoun calling for it, gets behind it. Altuve back to the bag, and he's going to stay right there. Good throw by Cole. It's cut off.
A wise decision by Altuve to stay right there. And again, good decision and good communication in the outfield. Much easier, better throw for the right fielder than it would be for your center fielder going to get that baseball.
A big out. 1 out. First and second still. Here's Jed Lowry.
And what the Astros like to try to do, especially when you haven't been able to advance the runners, this is when they might take a shot at trying to steal third. Going to bury that look back to second.
Altuve off to a big lead. Leads the league in stolen bases with 37. Lowry looks at a strike. He jumped on a couple of pitches early in the count. He's 0 for 2. Fly ball to right and fly ball to center. Time was called. No pitch.
Time is called. Hector's already going through his delivery. You have to follow through at that point. Just throw the baseball. Hurt your arm doing that stop in the middle of delivery.
Two-man leading off this fifth inning with a double. Springer walked. Correa with a fly ball to right field for the first out. 0-2 to Lowry now. Chase a breaking ball. Got a piece of it.
That's a pretty good slider too. And if you're Chris Iannetta, you got to anticipate potentially a slider in the dirt. You got to keep that in front of you.
Lowry, one of those veteran players signed in the offseason by Houston. Pretty good pitch, just missed off the plate. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Lowry. 2 down.
And a lot of work to do still. Hector got to keep that focus. Went upstairs, up and in with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Gets Lowry out. Lowry down 0 for 18 against Hector.
Ganis skies one out on the left side of the infield. Eric Ibar makes a catch, and Hector Santiago works out of some trouble. We will head to the sixth inning with the Angels clinging to their one-run lead.
Trout, first pitch swinging with Eric Ibar on base. 2-run home run. his 40th the season, and Albert Pujols followed him right back up with a back-to-back home run. What a swing for Albert. His 36th, 556 now on his career. Then Gonzalez solo shot to left field, bringing the Astros back at that point, make it 3-1. Then Carter on a changeup away hits it out the other way, making it 3-2. That's where we're at right now here, top of the 6th.
Ibar, Calhoun, and Trout here in the 6th inning for the Angels. 11 straight retired by McCullers. Eric 1 for 2. Takes outside. A bunt base hit and a run score to the 1st inning and a ground down. So Altuve to 3rd.
Time to add on this inning if you can. Got to score.
Considering the job that Hector did to get out of that 5th. First 2 men reaching. Part of the order coming up. And keeps it a 1-run lead for the Angels. Two balls, 1 strike. That's a foul. See Eric talking to himself the way he dropped the barrel of that bat. Difficult to keep that ball fair. 2-2 now.
Because at an angle, it's tough to keep it on the straight path right down the line.
Breaking ball got him looking. Top part of the zone. 1 down. Eric doesn't like the call.
Too valuable to keep that argument going, though, for Eric. In that defense he brings at shortstop. In the upper part of the strike center corner on Fox tracks.
6th strikeout for McCullers. Cole is 0 for 2. Fly ball to left and a line out to Carter at 1st. Halos have managed 3 hits, all 3 in the 1st inning.
Where you can sense a difference in McCullers the last 4 innings compared to that 1st inning.
He's really had no stress whatsoever since that 1st inning. And he finished off that inning by striking out 2 as he falls behind here on Cole at 2 balls and a strike.
Change up there. He hasn't thrown many change-ups. He'll throw more of them to left-handed batters than right-handed batters.
Trout on deck. Cole strikes out. 2 outs. Back-to-back punch outs now.
Well located breaking ball once again. And McCullers, he's got a good one. Real good one.
Trout, the 2-run home run in the 1st inning and a strikeout in the 3rd. Home run is 40th. Keller's got him to chase a couple of breaker partner fastballs up in the zone in the 3rd inning to complete the strikeout.
Good count for Trout to do damage. 1-0 counts, hit .405.
Outside with the fastball, 2-1.
He's going to try to climb the ladder now with his fastball.
Trout grounds one toward short. Correa has it. Off balance throw. And Trout is retired for the third out. A 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the sixth inning. When we come back, we'll have another edition of Doobie Tuesdays.
I was in between a taller Tom Cruise, and we're going to go with Brad Pitt, though. I think he takes the cake.
Brad Pitt, I don't know.
Brad Pitt. Good job, right on that one. I like that one.
Matthew McConaughey, I think. Yeah, curly hair.
I was kind of thinking Andrew Heaney was going to go with Val Kilmer from Tombstone. Well, he looked a lot like him. What do you think? Right there? Pretty close. Same stare.
Same stash.
Yes. Almost. Well, it was pretty close. What about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
What about me?
What actor would play you in a movie?
Oh, Adam Sandler. We both have the same size nose. 3-2 Halos. Bottom of the sixth inning. Marwin Gonzalez, Chris Carter, Jason Castro to face Hector Santiago. 76 pitches. Gonzalez with a home run and a ground out. Takes inside.
I wonder if this won't be a one batter scenario for Hector potentially with Chris Carter on deck.
Salas loosening in the pen. Two and 0.
That's right down the middle of the play. That's a strike right there for Hector. Yes, Iannetta had to reach back.
Sosha wants to know where that pitch is at as well.
It's right in the strike zone.
Three and 1. I know umpires have their reasons for the way they position themselves, but I think a lot of times because they use the catcher to kind of shield them, because they move in with the catcher, they lose the angle of that outside part of the plate. Just inside, he walked him. A lead-off walk to start the sixth inning. Tying run on board. There comes Mike Sosha. That'll do it for Hector Santiago. Chris Carter coming to the plate. Got ourselves a pitching change first of the game. We're in the sixth inning with nobody out, and the Angels up 3-2.
Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are .com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. Hector Santiago removed after issuing a leadoff walk to Marlon Gonzalez as Fernando Salas takes over on the mound. It's in and out, who's in, who's out. Salas pitching in his 65th game. 3-2 record, a 4.27 ERA, 59 innings, 70 strikeouts, and 10 walks. He's going to face Chris Carter with Marlon Gonzalez over at first. Gonzalez the tying run. It's 3-2 Angels here in the 6th. The walk to Gonzalez, the 5th and last one issued by Santiago in 5 innings. 4 hits, including 2 home runs, 4 strikeouts, 5 walks. Right now, fortunately, the walks have not come back to haunt.
And he threw 81 pitches, 41 out of the strike zone, 40 in the strike zone.
Carter 1 for 2 with a home run and a fly ball to left. First pitch slider in for a strike. It's grounded into 5 double plays this year. One and one. Featherston moves over to the shortstop side of second base now. Borderline pitch gets the call. 1-2. Foul tipped into the mid. Down goes Carter. 1 away.
Real good fastball. The key to that sequence there was originally Iannetta put down slider, shook it off, and that made me think that Carter was thinking in that term he was going to throw a breaking ball and ended up getting a fastball instead and late on it. Sometimes, especially for Carter and some hitters, guess hitters, they're guessing at that point, shaking off the fastball to go to a breaking ball.
Gonzalez still at first base, 1 out. Castro at the plate. The catcher walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Good lead for Gonzalez over at first. Snap throw to first base. Gets back in there. No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2 and the last pitch in game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday. And an inning in the third of now with 3 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. He's pitched quite a bit, second most appearances on this team. This one back to the mound. Salas to Ibar for 1, over to first in time, inning-ending double play.
Excellent job by Fernando Salas, who lands in very good fielding position. Perfect throw to complete the double play.
Tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag #WestDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the 7th. Halos on top 3-2. Nice job by Fernando Salas. Get out of that bottom of the 6th inning.
Talk about excellent technique as far as fielding your position as a pitcher. You field that, turn around, and lead your shortstop to the base. Everything done extremely well by Fernando Salas on that play.
Time for the offense to do something against McCullers. They did something in the first, but haven't done anything since then. As a matter of fact, only base runner was David Freese getting hit by a pitch on a breaking ball in the 2nd inning.
Would you be stunned if McCullers threw anything but a breaking ball right here at the Pujols?
14 straight retired by McCullers. Albert 1 for 2.
Oh his goodness, he shook off to a fastball.
Albert takes it for ball 1. Albert swinging first pitch in the 1st inning, lined a home run, his 36th. Swinging the first pitch in the 4th, and lined with a Marvin Gonzalez and left. 1-1. Albert doesn't like that call. As he's starting to get a little chirpy with Chris Conroy, the home plate umpire. Bounce a foul.
A Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. You got to fight for your right to party. In other words, you got to score some more runs here. You got to fight your way all the way through every game the rest of the season if you're going to get to that big dance.
Albert reaching for the breaking pitch, fouls it off. The count remains at 1-2.
Conversation with Mike Butcher down in the bullpen once again.
Fastball up and in. Evens the count at 2-2. Pujols, Murphy, and Crone for the Angels here in the 7th. Little flare out towards shallow center field. Altuve's not going to get there. And it's a base hit against McCullers. Looking at Pujols as he's running down the line.
Well, you consider he line went off the wall, back wall for a home run, and a line drive
to left field for now. He jammed him there. The Pujols so strong, gets that ball to the outfield. Most people are jammed this much and staying in the infield.
Leadoff single. 4th hit for the Angels. Here's Murphy. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, we told you McCullers is high energy guy. Doesn't even like a good swing against him, let alone a base hit. Very competitive. Steady diet of breakables to Murphy tonight from McCullers.
Line foul. So it's still at no balls and 2 strikes. Murphy tonight, strikeout and a ground ball to 3rd. Dribbler over toward first. Carter's got it. He'll take it to the bank. Pujols in scoring position with 1 out now for C.J. Cron. Folks, this Friday the Angels will host Oktoberfest in the Gate 1 at Music Garden. Come enjoy live German music, dancing, and beer tasting from a variety of breweries. Get your tickets today at the stadium box office or online. Next pitch will be the 100th thrown by McCullers. He's going to face C.J. Cron. It was 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts for Cron.
Quick conversation there, but looking at the box score so far, I don't see many guys at second base. That's why he wants to make sure to go through the proper signs with a man at second.
The only guys at second base for the Angels besides Pujols now in the 7th were running through second base on the home runs. 0-1 count. 7 strikeouts for McCullers. His career high. This being his first season in the big leagues. On July 12th, he had 10 against Tampa Bay.
100 pitches thrown, 21, first 17. So 38 of the 100 pitches in his first 2 innings. Has settled down.
And Cron just can't figure out McCullers. He's had some tough swings against him.
He was 2 for 5 against him coming into the game, though.
Cron goes down swinging. Pujols trying to go to 3rd, and he will get there. So strikeout of Cron, 2 outs. Albert advancing on the wild pitch.
Hey, you're looking at home, wondering why Albert would do that. Well, the reason why is McCullers throws a lot of breaking balls, especially to right-handed batters. He can bounce one. You get one of those scratch runs across on a wild pitch. And Albert seeing that throw over the first. Slides in to 3rd base now. That takes away that potential really good slider when you're on the mound with a man on 3rd.
McCullers will work from the windup to David Freese. Is 0 for 1. A ground down and a hit by pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. Astros in the bottom of the 7th inning have 9-1 and 2 coming up. Marisnick, Altuve, and Springer. 0-2. David taking another breaking ball. Over the heart of the plate. Three straight breaking balls. One-two pitch. Another one off the plate. 2-2. Can he go to a fourth? He's gone four. He should go to a fifth, I should say.
Yeah, you think he's going to have to.
Back outside is Castro. The fastball off the plate. Full count.
Try to sneak a fastball away. Freeze a .326 career hitter against the Astros.
Breaking pitch, rocketed foul into the seats. The veteran Chad Qualls is ready to go in the pen for Houston.
This could be his last batter, regardless of what happens here. Career high as far as tying right now on pitches thrown in a game at 108.
Got a fastball, fouls it back. Pujols is single to start the seventh. Went to second on the ground out by Murphy. Moved to third. And you get a wild pitch. Cron struck out.
Surprised he hasn't gone back to that breaking ball yet.
Another 3-2. Freeze got a breaking ball and fouls it off.
I'm telling you, when there's a man on third, you're not quite as comfortable throwing that nasty slider in the dirt. And that's a breaking ball that he has in the dirt because Albert advanced on the strikeout.
Freeze goes down swinging. The Angels leave a man at third. Stretch time in Houston. Halos up 3-2. Texas out in front of Oakland early. It's 1-0 in the top of the first inning. That game just underway. Minnesota leading Cleveland 3-1. Minnesota half game better than the Angels as far as the wild card is concerned. Seattle leading Kansas City 11-0. Yankees and Toronto tied at 3. That game's at the bottom of the ninth. Tampa Bay over Boston and Detroit over the White Sox. The Tigers are trying to complete a 5-pitcher no-hitter in the ninth inning against the White Sox. Neftali Feliz, the 5th pitcher, gave up a 1-out triple. The Sox tied it up, and then the Tigers walked off in extras.
Was that a couple years ago where Seattle had 6 pitchers? I remember Houston doing the same thing in New York. They had multiple pitchers throw a no-hitter.
Maruznik, Altuve, and Springer here in the 7th. Angels have a new third baseman, Caleb Cowart, taking over for David Freese. No other changes for the Angels. Off-speed pitch sailing into the hands. It's 1-2.
That's one of those cement mixer sliders that backed up on Fernando.
Downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marisnik, a walk and a strikeout. Two foul back. Cardinals with 3 runs on 4 hits. They've stranded 1 base runner. That was Pujols at the top of the 7th. Houston with 2 runs, 4 hits, 6 men left on base. Good pitch to 1 inning. As he came in, abandoned first base, nobody out in the 6th inning. Struck out Carter. Got Cashford into a double play to end the inning. 2-2 again. Fouled off again. Santiago ended up going 5 innings. 4 hits, 2 home runs, 4 strikeouts, and 5 walks. 2 runs both earned, home runs.
Now, but certainly into this game tonight. If we want to keep Marisnik off the bases with his speed, and then you have Altuve on deck with his speed.
And the way he handles the bat. Marisnik with 21 stolen bases. Three-two pitch. Jammed him. Running that fastball into the hands.
Pitch of this at bat.
And he walked him. Second consecutive inning. The Astros have worked a leadoff walk. Mike Scioscia is coming out. That's going to be it for Salas, with Altuve coming up, tying Ron at first base. of the 7th inning. I want to remind you can follow the Angels the rest of the season with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. That bat is up to the moment, at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcasts, and so much more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Fernando Salas, after going 1 inning in the 6th inning, issues the leadoff walk to Jake Marisnick. Speedy outfielders over at first base as Trevor Gott takes over on the mound. Trevor's pitching in his 41st game, 2-2 record, and a 2.88 ERA, 40 and 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts, and 12 walks. He's got a tough task with dealing with Marisnick at first base and Jose Altuve coming up to the plate.
It looked like Fernando just tried to make the perfect pitch against Marisnick. We got ahead of the count. Just try to go with that fastball away. Especially a 2-2 changeup he threw before a couple foul fastballs, or eventually a high fastball out of the strike zone.
Altuve doubled his last time up. Takes a fastball for a strike. Late on that fastball, Marisnick was on the move, so he'll head back over to first base in an 0-2 count. Good lead from Marisnick again to throw over. Altuve 0 for 2 against Gott. Not a whole lot of experience for these Astros hitters against Trevor. Swing and a miss, down goes Altuve, 1 down. Climb the ladder with a fastball.
And trying to make contact with that running fastball at 95. Could not do so. It looked like he was trying to even punch that ball to right field.
Springer 0 for 2. A fly ball to right, a pop up to first, and a walk. Outside. 1 for 1 in his career against Trevor.
Well, with this count right now, you've got to believe that Marisnick's going to be going here. Potential pitch out probably gone now for Socha. And fastball away.
2 balls, no strikes. Broken bat roller foul. Do lumber for Springer. 2 balls and a strike. So running action away from the right-handed batter. And it was 4.5 back in the West, 3.5 back in the wild card. Another way to put it, needing a win today and a win tomorrow against Houston. Last 2 games of the year against the Astros. You've got to lean on others to take care of business for you. Pretty good lead. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Pulls off that pitch. 2-2.
Stay away against Springer. Very, very quick. Extremely quick on the inner half of the plate. See that front shoulder and hip opens up. Doesn't have that coverage for the outer part of the plate.
Halos without Joe Smith. No damage. The MRI results coming back for him. Just a sprained ankle. Severely sprained.
Feels much better today. I think he was kind of leaning on that one. To see you'll strike him out, throw him out.
Correa on deck. 2-2. He takes off. This one down towards shallow center field. Not very deep. Trout moves in and over. 2 down. Marisnick back to first base, and now Carlos Correa will step to the plate with 2 outs. Correa strikeout, a walk, and a fly ball to right field. 0 for 2. Takes a fastball for a strike. Correa for 1 with a strikeout against Trevor. 9 pitches, 7 strikes so far. Marisnick takes off. Correa fouls it back. 0-2.
The reason why Mike Scioscia, besides the fact that Trevor Gott has such a good fastball, he's pretty quick to the plate, would give Chris Iannetta a better shot at throwing out Marisnick.
Eric Ibar just called Angel Hernandez over. Third base umpire. And there's something going on near the on deck circle. Maybe there's a flash on or something on a camera, perhaps. There's Conroy. Guy right up along the rail there had the flash on his camera. Oh, 2 count. Breaking ball. Chopped to short. High ball. Lays back on it. They go to second base. They force out Marisnick. Nice job by Trevor Gott. We head to the 8th with the Angels up by a run.
Astros 3-2, top 8. I'm Patrick O'Neill here in some hostile territory. Hope you join us after the game for our Angels Live postgame show. I'll be joined by Jose Mota. We hope to get some winning interviews, maybe find out what Hector Santiago did not like from home plate umpire Chris Conroy, although that might not be suitable for television. Clearly, a big story is going to be the Angels bullpen. Victor and Mark, you mentioned Joe Smith, and that's going to be the big story down the stretch in this one.
Yeah, no doubt not having Joe in a normal 8th inning scenario. Now Mike Scioscia's going to have to mix and match for that 8th inning and bring that baseball and give Houston Street an opportunity to be able to pick up a save. But a couple runs here of insurance would be fun.
Chad Qualls pitching in his 57th game, 3-4 record in a 3.91 ERA. He's got Iannetta, Featherston, and Ibar due up 8-9-1 for the Angels. Lance McCullers, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 home runs, 3 runs, all earned, 9 strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit batter. Slider first pitch, and it misses down and away.
And the Astros bullpen early in the season was excellent, but of late, not so. Since August 30th, 6.99 ERA, 2-7. The Astro bullpen.
We saw it last night. Struck for 2. This one line fair into the corner she goes. Chris hustling around first, going to try to go to second. To throw for Marwin Gonzalez is not in time.
Good slide to avoid the tag for Iannetta.
Lead off double for Chris. That's his 10th of the season.
And Gonzalez with the bare hand all in one motion. He does have a good throwing arm. Looked like that foot got in there before the tag was applied.
And Marwin Gonzalez, a shortstop by trade, playing left field.
So
he's got the hose.
Arm, yes.
Yeah. Not your prototypical left fielder.
He's played some solid first base too for the Astros.
David DeJesus is going to pinch hit here for Taylor Featherston. And what you'd think would have been a sacrifice situation.
Taylor's had his issues with the sacrifice bunt, though.
Jesus has had his issues with the Angels. David has just gone 6 for 54 and as a pinch hitter 1 for 14 wearing an Angels uniform. He could use a big knock here. Featherston finishes the night going 0 for 2. Corner infielders in. David squares around and bunts through it. 0-1. No sacrifices for DeJesus this year.
Qualls his fastball 90 to 94 and a slider. So fastball, slider. Used to throw a few more changeups, not many this year.
Chopper to the left side. Iannetta trying to go to third. He'll get there. It's an infield base hit for DeJesus. Just punched it to the left side with the shift on. Nothing Correa can do.
Looks like a line drive. Again, looking to add on against a guy they've had a lot of success. Chad Qualls has had his problems in his career versus the Angels coming in career-wise. ERA 8.04, including an ERA straight up at 9 this season.
A.J. Hinch making his way out. He's calling the infield in here. Would not surprise me at all to see Eric Ibar a little safety squeeze.
That's a conversation for sure.
Iannetta standing at third base. DeJesus at first. Eric tonight 1 for 3, a bunt base hit in the first inning. First time tonight the Angels have had more than one base runner on board. In the same inning. Infield is in for Houston. Down and away. Sinking fastball. Cole Calhoun on deck. And then you've got Trout. off the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Houston with a lefty and a righty getting ready. The bullpen. Joe Thatcher is the lefty. Pat Neshek, the right-hander. 3-2 Angels here in the 8th. First 2 have reached. A bunt. Qualls picks it up, fires over to first, and Ibar is called out. Iannetta didn't even move from third base. Never moved.
Boy, Eric's looking down and over that way.
DeJesus ends up at second.
Pretty good
never
play.
even looked at him.
Yeah, it's pretty good play by Qualls.
Pitching change with Calhoun coming up. The Angels with runners at second and third. And Joe Thatcher is coming on in relief. It's 3-2 Angels. Credited with a sacrifice bunt, advancing David DeJesus to second base. So it's second and third. Joe Thatcher, the lefty, comes on in relief. The former Angel. He's pitching in his 40th game. He's 1-3 with a 3.60 ERA. 20 innings, 24 strikeouts, 12 walks. Situational moment for him facing the left-hand hitting Cole Calhoun.
Fastball's 83 to 87 and a slider. There's a lot of pitches away.
Infield in. Cole tonight 0 for 3. Breaking ball. That was a very hittable breaking ball. Fouled back 0-1.
He was trying to go away with that slider. That ended up the inside part of the plate.
Down and in. Thatcher's allowed a 280 batting average against. Lefties 250, righties 333. Neshek's getting ready to face Trout. This one flared on the third base side, and Lowry will run out of room. 1-2. And then at third, De Jesus at second. Outfield very shallow all the way around. Gonzalez and Marisnik at left and center respectively, playing toward left center. Ricky pitch, that'll fall in for a base hit. Identical score. De Jesus will be stopped as Calhoun flares in a single. The Angels get a little insurance. It's 4-2.
And that's all you got to try to do is try to make contact, and that's exactly what Cole did, picking up his 78th RBI of the season. A huge run.
A.J. Hinch back out to the mound. Pat Neshek will be summoned from the bullpen to face Mike Trout. Another pitching change here in the 8th inning. Angels up by the score, 4-2.
Now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Trout, 2-run home run in the 4th, a career-high 40th home run earlier today. Second Angel ever with 40 or more home runs in a season. Troy Glaus did it twice. And there's that swing by Trout. First pitch swinging. 2-run home run to left center field for Mike Trout, giving the early lead for the Halos.
4-2 Halos here in the 8th. 1 out, runners at the corners. Pat Neshek on the mound for Houston. 63rd game, 3-6 mark. 3.44 ERA. Neshek pitched last night, just 1/3 of an inning. Facing Trout. Trout 2 for 11 in his career against Pat. And the first pitch comes up empty. 2 for 11 with 6 strikeouts against Pat Neshek. 2 hits, triples. De Jesus over at third. Calhoun with the RBI single stands at first. Cole picking up a 78th run batted in.
Check fastballs 88 to 92, slider, changeup.
Pull foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Albert is on deck, had his issues with Neshek. 3 for 11. 2 of his hits, though, have been home runs.
It's a big run rate here at third base for the Angels. Mike Trout an opportunity to bring home another run to expand and add on to the lead.
Off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's about a half baseball or so off the outside corner. Just off the outside corner. Catcher trying to bring it back.
Now the 2-2 and hit him. Bases are loaded.
Ran his fastball in the tricep area.
So Albert to bat here with the bases loaded, 1 out. Pujols homering in the first inning, his 36th.
That ball was absolutely crushed.
'87th run batted in. It's had a 2-for-3 game. 3 infielders on the left side. This one's fouled back.
And Lake Trout swinging at the first pitch against Neshek.
Oakland has taken a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the second against Texas at the Coliseum. Hayes still batting. Minnesota still leading Cleveland. 0-1. Lifted foul and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, 2 and Albert goes down swinging, 2 outs.
Went slider away, now off the plate. Albert couldn't make contact. Pulled off that one just enough to get a swing and miss.
So David Murphy comes up. Bases still loaded, 2 outs. Field shifts over to the right side with Murphy up. Jesus at third, Calhoun at second, Trout at first. Murphy's had 1 plate appearance against Neshek, and it resulted in a sacrifice fly. First one down low. Lefties have hit 274 against Neshek this year. Righties just 195.
Because the way he throws the baseball, runs out over the plate for a left-handed batter to be able to use the barrel to bat on it.
On the outside corner. 1-1. Murphy skies one on the first base side into foul territory. Altuve and Carter, and Altuve makes the catch. And the Angels leave unloaded. They get 1 run. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-2 Halos. Got back out of the mound. He finished off the 7th inning for Mike Scioscia. He's going to try to finish off the 8th. He has a new second baseman. It's Ryan Jackson taking over for Taylor Featherston. He was pinch hit for by David DeJesus. Now Colin Cowgill replaces David Murphy in left field. So in the outfield for the Angels, it's Cowgill, Trout, and Calhoun. The infield with Coward, Ibar, Jackson, and Crow. And Inetta is still behind the plate. Houston here in the 8th. As Lowry, Gaddis, and Gonzalez coming up. All of that action. Top of the 8th inning. Just netting the Angels 1 run. Bases loaded. Lowry lines one up the middle. It's a leadoff single. His first hit of the night. He's 1 for 4. Brings up Gaddis.
Well, speed pitch was down just below the strike zone, but middle part of the plate went right back up the middle.
Evan Gaddis tonight doubled back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Double his 19th.
Rolled into 13 double plays.
Fastball missing in. What a what? Gaddis thought that pitch was low.
Good pitch. Lower part of the strike zone. One of those pitches you can get a ground ball double play with.
One and 2.
Perfect pitch there. His fastball at 95.
Gaddis chops this one over to the right side. Cron will take it himself. 1 out. Lowry advances to second. So man in scoring position with 1 down, and Marvin Gonzalez will be pinch hit for here.
Let's see Mike Scioscia go to the bullpen now also with Rasmus up.
It's Houston Street that's loosening in the pen. No left-hander.
And Houston has said he's willing to go more than a normal 3 outs to get a save.
Rasmus, 235 average, 21 home runs, 53 runs batted in. He's 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. That one was a home run. 3 infielders on the right side. Jackson's out in shallow right field. That time being called. Now the Angels get a lefty up. Jose Alvarez has joined Houston. First pitch fastball for a strike. Halo's getting 3 runs in the first. Houston got 2 of those runs back in the second. Stayed that way until the top of the 8th inning. The Angels got 1 run back. It's 4-2 here in the bottom of the 8th and 1 out. Rasmus tardy on the fastball, fouls it off, 1-2. Preston Tucker's come out to the on deck circle. Now another meeting. Two balls, 2 strikes. Lowry able to take a bigger lead. Nobody really holding him on. Both Alvarez and Street ready to go. 2-2 outside with the breaking ball. Full count. Last batter for Trevor Gott. Trying to get that second out. Payoff pitch to Rasmus. Now back.
Good fastball, good movement at 96.
That was 3-2. Foul back.
Well, you just look at the difference in his swing here in this ballpark, Rasmus. He generally tries to pull the baseball, but he's thinking with that short porch out and left, he's just going to try to punch the ball that way. Because there's 2 pretty good fastballs in a row on the outer part of the plate at 96.
Yet another payoff. And he walked him. Tying run now on base. Preston Tucker coming up.
So
should wait till he gets announced.
As soon as he's announced, then he'll go to the lefty.
There it is. And Jose Alvarez ready to go. Sosa's going to go to Jose Alvarez with 2 men on and 1 out. We're in the 8th inning. Halos up by the score of 4-2. Angels with 1 out, runners at first and second base. Jose pitching in his 56th game. And it looks like we're going to see yet another pinch hitter here. Preston Tucker scheduled to bat, and it's Matt Duffy instead being called upon. Just picked up his first major league hit the other day. Right-handed batter. Duffy, a 20th round pick in 2011 of the Astros. 26-year-old. 3 games, 5 plate appearances. He's 1 for 4. Jed Lowry, the base runner at second. Kobe Rasmus over at first base. First pitch changeup, missing down and away. Duffy at AAA this year. 294 average, 29 doubles, 20 home runs, 104 runs batted in. That's this one fouled out of play. It was the PCL's MVP putting up those numbers. One off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Drafted out of the University of Tennessee. Two one now. A strike.
Ooh, just barely.
Oof. I think that was off the plate. Alvarez and the Angels get the benefit of that call.
Fox tracks. Upper part of the zone, just off that top part of the strike zone.
That changes the at bat. Instead of 3-1, it's a 2-2 count. Here's a pitch, and he reaches for this one. Grounds with the high bar. Feeds Jackson for 1. The relay back to first, not in time. Good slide by Rasmus. Just did get the feet of Jackson. Couldn't get much on that throw.
A lot closer than I thought, because it was a slow roller. But Rasmus playing the game the right way, trying to prevent that double play from being turned. Quick throw, tried a quick pivot, and enough to be able to throw off the timing of Jackson.
Looks like we're going to get another pinch hitter here. Jason Castro is the scheduled batter. And Jonathan Villar will come off the bench. Villar, switch hitter, is at 264 in 47 games this year. His splits are fairly even. Right-handed 262, lefty 265. He'll bat from the right side with Alvarez on the mound. He's 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter with a home run and an RBI. Mike Scioscia's got to turn him around to hit from the left side. Houston Street is coming into this game with 2 outs in the 8th. Halos up 4-2. This inning has taken forever, especially with the endless changes that you can make with the expanded rosters here. And as we speak, as Houston Street's getting ready, Jonathan Villar has been pulled back. Houston pitching in his 60th game, 3-3 mark at a 3.17 ERA, 38 saves on the year. But he won't face Villar. Instead, he'll face Luis Valbuena. That's the curious move if you're Mike Scioscia. Valbuena now, granted, a batting average not pretty, 210 batting average, but 22 home runs and 51 runs batted in. Figured that Scioscia would have just stayed with Alvarez to get that third out. Instead, you've got first and third, 2 outs, and now Valbuena will bat here against Houston, looking for that 4-out save.
Valbuena 0 for 3 against Street with 2 punch-outs. But A.J. Hinch is just looking for that one mistake that he can hit.
A.J. Hinch has used 5 off his bench in this bottom of the 8th inning. Rasmus, Tucker, Duffy, Villar, Valbuena. Jed Lowry started off this inning with a leadoff single. He stands at third. Duffy is at first base, reaching on the fielder's choice. First pitch gets away. It's a wild one. Here comes Lowry, and the Astros get a run. It's 4-3. Tying run now in scoring position.
Overthrown fastball. Well off the plate. Actually, might have been a changeup. Trying to muscle up on this changeup.
Now they potentially walk Valbuena here with first base open. That's the go-ahead run. Jake Marisnick will come to the plate. This will be the 8th walk by Angels pitchers tonight. Santiago issued 5. Marisnick has worked 2 walks and he has struck out. He's 0 for 1. Duffy, the base runner, at second. Valbuena at first. 4-3 Angels here in the 8th. First pitch, a strike. That run, by the way, gets charged to Trevor Gott. Lowry scoring on the wild pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. What this inning has done, though, will give the Astros an opportunity to send the top of its order up in the 9th inning. Oh, 2. Marisnick fouls it off.
Houston knew he got away with that when he was trying to expand the strike zone more so off the outside corner with the slider.
One ball, 2 strikes. Minnesota defeating Cleveland tonight 3-1. Texas trailing Oakland 4-1. Off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marisnick strikes out swinging, and this inning is finally over. Houston gets a run on that wild pitch. We head to the 9th. The Angels up by a run.
By Arco. Cole Calhoun against Joe Thatcher. Trying to go slider away. Just punch that ball into left field. Shorten up the swing. Brings home Chris Iannetta with the 4th run of the game. Swing there by Cole. Picking up his 78th RBI of the season.
A couple of changes for the Houston Astros. Will Harris takes over on the mound. He'll pitch the 9th as the Angels have Crone, Coward, and Iannetta scheduled here. Harris 5-4 and a 1.65 ERA. This is his 62nd game. A couple of changes defensively for the Astros. Valbuena stays in the game. He's over at first. Rasmus remains in the game. He's in left field. And there's a new catcher. It's Max Stassi, replacing Jason Castro. Crone swinging first pitch, bounces one to short. Correa has it. Pulls Valbuena off the bag. And there's out number 1 as Valbuena applies the tag. 1 pitch, 1 out. Neshek, by the way, went 2/3 of an inning. Angels, pretty good opportunity to score multiple runs in the 8th inning. Only just got 1. So a little stress here as we begin the 9th with a 1-run lead. Caleb Coward, first plate appearance tonight. Took over defensively in the 7th for David Freese. Caleb looks at a strike. 178 average. 2 doubles, a home run, 4 runs batted in. One. 1-2.
The setup pitch to come right back with another curveball.
2-2 to Coward. And he got him. 2 outs.
Followed with a high fastball, followed right back with a curveball. Starts up around the belt, ends up almost in the dirt for a swing and miss.
Chris Iannetta 1 for 3. He doubled leading off the 8th. Bounces this one toward third and backhanded by Lowry. The Halos go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Top of the order coming up for Houston. The Angels clinging to a 1-run lead. Piece after losing last night, lead this one by the score of 4-3. And try to pick up a game in the standings, a game that they lost in the standings last night with the loss after Navarro takes over at first base for C.J. Cron. It'll be Altuve, Springer, and Correa for Houston straight. Got the last out after intentionally walking Valbuena by striking out Marisnick in the 8th. Jose Altuve tonight 1 for 4, doubled in the 5th inning. First one in for a strike. Off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Glove by Street. The underhand flipped to Navarro. 1 down.
Knocked it with the glove, catch it with the bare hand, and then the flip. Some good distance on the flip.
Ends a good fielding position, knocks that one down, able to get it with the bare hand, and then quickly flips it over to first base to get Altuve.
That's a big guy to keep off the bases,
especially with that speed.
Springer, a swing and a miss. Houston's living on that outside part of the plate, especially if Chris Conroy's going to call it.
A little further away.
Springer tonight 0 for 3 with a walk. Off the plate, evens a count. Foul back, 1-2. Pitch up in the zone a little bit. One-two offering, little number back toward the mound. Houston's got it. 2 down. Staying away once again.
For a guy that likes to try to pull a lot of pitches. It's good pitching right there by the veteran.
2 outs, bases clear. There's Carlos Correa. 0 for 3 tonight. Fielder's choice in his last at-bat. That was in the 7th. Down and away. Correa tried to wait as long as possible on that slow breaking ball. Evens a count of 1 ball, 1 strike.
A great location on that slider.
One pitch. Just off the plate. 2-1. Jed Lowry awaits on deck.
Maybe we'll see him tomorrow.
A few hours. Call it a night.
Yes.
1 o'clock start tomorrow afternoon. Final game of the series. 2-1 pitch. Little number up the line. That is foul. Bennett tried to get it in fair territory, but he couldn't.
Off the end of the bat. He's had to try to avoid that baseball. If that baseball hits him, game's over. That was real close.
No doubt. 2-2. This one's out towards center field. Chasing Trout back. That ball's crushed. Trout will pull up. It's off the base of the wall. Correa on his way to second. He is in there with a 2-out double.
He is a special player. That is a long, long way. Next year, different story where that baseball ends up.
On his 21st birthday, gets his first hit of the night. He represents the tying run in scoring position. It'll bring up Lowry with 2 outs and a man on. And of course, with a dreaded flashback, Gooby.
Yeah, that's what happened at home. Clinging at the start of that inning to a 3-0 lead, but then that home run right there gives the Astros the lead, and it went 5-3. That big home run by Jed Lowry. He's not going to get a chance here, though.
Evan Gattis is the man on deck. And the Angels putting the winning run at first base.
I think you have to go with percentages, go righty versus righty for Houston. Right-handed batters against Houston Street, 189. Left-handed batters against him this season, 250.
So 2 on, 2 outs. Gattis coming to the plate. 1 for 4 tonight with a double. First one to Gattis, swing and a miss. Gattis 0 for 4 in his career with 3 punch-outs against Houston Street. Almost got him to chase again. Downstairs. Houston getting a run in the 8th inning. That run got charged at God. That was on the wild pitch that Street delivered. Very first pitch coming in from the bullpen. Got the first 2 outs and little dribblers back to the mound. Correa hit one up the line. Went foul, then hit the missile off the base of the wall in straightaway center field. Then Lowry the intentional walk. Gattis 2 balls and 1 strike. And that is pulled down the line, and that is foul. Out in front. That pitch was up and in. Right in Evan Gattis' wheelhouse.
Mistake thrown, but a strike nonetheless. Ball ran back in. Not a lot of room down that line. But foul off the wall. Now see if he can expand that zone, go further off the outside corner.
That fan's fortunate. That ball hit the wall, not his chest.
Got to be ready your way, just in case off the end of the bat for Cole Calhoun in right field.
31 pitches thrown by Houston. Tying run at second, winning run at first base. 2-2 now. Swing and a miss, like that baby up as the Angels even this series up at a game apiece. 4-3 the final tonight.
Boy, this had the definite feel of a playoff type game, and another 1-run game between these 2 teams as the Angels pick up a game in the wild card race. What a pitch by Houston Street, a 4-out save, his 39th. Great breaking ball. Got away with the pitch before, finish it off right now. What a game. Some home runs early on for the Halos, and hold on, pick up that game back that they lost yesterday to the Astros, winning on that Texas-Oakland game. They're losing at this point also.
Minnesota won, so they are now 2 back of the Astros, and if Texas loses that game, the Angels would be 3.5 back in the American League West. The Angels even up the series. It was a nail biter, especially at the very end between the 8th and the 9th innings. And the Angels hang on to win it by the final of 4-3, setting up the rubber game of the series tomorrow afternoon. Hector Santiago hung in there picked up the win. It wasn't his best performance, but I tell you what, even with the walks, he did get out of some trouble. And credit the bullpen for kind of keeping things in check. They made some big pitches.
Exactly. A lot of Mike Socha had to mix and match with that bullpen, but they got the job done and just enough runs to win the game.
Let's go down to Jose Mota, who's with Albert Pujols. Jose.
Thank you, Victor. As badly as this team needed to put some runs on the board, how important in games like this was it to jump ahead early on McCullers?
It was great, especially here, in their home field. They're playing pretty well. So anytime that you can put some run on the board, it's always huge. Trout, got on it. Hit a 2-run homer and follow up, with a solo homer. And but Hector got in a little bit of trouble. He made some pitch too, to get out of jam. So it's just put ourselves in a situation where you can come back tomorrow and try to win the series, and that's what we try to do.
How proud are you of the fight put in by the guys on the mound that minimize the damage, and also by your teammates applying pressure on the Astros throughout the night?
Well, I think, our bullpen has been our MVP. Those guys coming in, especially Sala, that guy, I think sometimes I tell him that he has a rubber arm, you can tell him to come up every game, and he step up huge. So it was just a big win overall. I think the biggest at bat was Cole Calhoun in there, against a tough lefty, and it was just a great win as a team, and he put a great at bat and got us another run, right there in the 8th inning.
And the things you don't like to talk about, 556, how special is it for you, for your family, and the fact that you're now 14th all time?
First of all, I just need to thank God, obviously, for giving me the opportunity to play this game. It's a dream come true for me, to get to the big leagues and, to accomplish all these milestones is awesome. I give all the credit to him and my family. They always support me from day one. And all the people down in the Dominican Republic. All the players. They're always cheering for their players. And I'm glad that I be able to do a night like this where we need it as a team to win, and hopefully I can continue to do that.
Two things. How's your foot? And did you get the baseball that the Correa and Altuve take care of that for you?
Yeah, I told Correa when I was going back, and he knew that I wanted it. But, obviously, as you know, I'm sore, and also 35 guys there and there, they're all sore, and it's kind of towards the end of the season, and, like I said before, we're not going to throw the flight in our teams. We're going to try to do the best that we can, and hopefully, get a squeeze in the playoff and take care of our business. Our goal is to hopefully try to bring a championship back to the city of Anaheim, and, we're right there in the mix. Obviously, we just need to come back tomorrow and try to get the rubber gang and, get on the flight day off on Thursday, and then get back, and hopefully have a big weekend and big week, coming up at home.
Congratulations, you pass money. Felicidades.
Gracias, hermano.
Albert Pujols. Next on the list is former Angel Reggie Jackson. We'll have more. Break it all down here on the field from Minute Maid. Angels Live with Patrick O'Neill. Coming up, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers.